Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's me, Crazyfrankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my NFL, AFC, and NFC division picks. The regular season has finally arrived. It's coming September the 8th with the opener between the Carolina Panthers and the defending champion Denver Broncos. Now, all the NFL teams pretty much by the time of this video, they should have their rosters cut to their specific number. And we are about to kick off the 2016 NFL season. Now, I'm going to try to keep this video brief. It's one of my goals this year for every video that I do regarding my NFL picks is to try to be brief with everything that I say. I don't want to drag and drone you guys so much and try to be not so repetitive in what I try to say. So, enough chit-chat. Let's talk about division picks now. Let's begin in the AFC. And let's begin with the AFC East. This should be brief right here. Even with the suspension of Tom Brady for the New England Patriots. If you look at the first 4 games of their schedule here, they got the Cardinals, Dolphins, Texans, and the Bills. Even with their backup, look, the Patriots by the end of week 4, by the time Tom Brady gets back, will be 3-1. I can see probably their only loss might be against Arizona. So, yeah, I mean, if you're a Patriots fan, I wouldn't worry so much about the Pats because their only tough opponent that they got in the first 4 games of their schedule is really the Arizona Cardinals. The rest of the division stinks. Dolphins didn't do all that much. They didn't do well in the draft. I don't know how Tannehill is going to do. The Bills, they didn't draft all that well either. I don't expect them to compete much this year. And the Jets, well, they were kind of a surprise last year. They almost made the playoffs, but they just could not deliver. Now, the Jets probably, if they can keep the team intact right now, and really quarterback situation is all right, but I don't know if it's Patrick or any other person that can really get that Jets offense going and see in terms of what they can do here. But to be quickly brief on that, there's no question this is the New England Patriots division, even though New England, I think they lost one of their running backs for the season due to an ACL injury, I think. But other than that, this is the Patriots division. The whole AFC East is a disaster. There's no question I can see the Patriots easily winning that division easily. Let's move on to the AFC North. This is going to be a huge dogfight in this division because the Steelers, the Bengals, and I do expect the Ravens to be up there contending for that division. Now the Steelers do have one of their wide receivers still to be suspended. I think the first 3 games of the season, I forgot his name. But I don't think it'll matter much to Ben Roethlisberger and their offense because their offensive line is pretty strong. They did pretty well in the draft, and in terms of the rest of that team, I mean, I can see them they're going to be in there as long as they remain healthy. The Bengals, though, another story. Now, this is a team that has been, even though they lost some key players to free agency or via trades, Andy Dalton is still trying to trying to do well as trying to get to elite status as a quarterback. But really, in all honesty, they've had playoff appearance after playoff appearance, and they've been eliminated in the first round. I don't know if this Bengal team is going to be ready to take that next step. Now, as far as the Ravens are concerned, I know through injuries, Joe Flacco was out, and they had to struggle all year due to injuries. Now, but I expect I expect the Ravens to be there as long as they're healthy and all that. They will be a contender in that division. So it's a 3-team race in that division, but I see the Steelers winning the NFC North this time. I don't know if the Bengals can really keep the team intact, even though they still have a good team. They still have a good team, but yeah, it's that first round, that wild card round that they seem to can't get out of. But as far as going to the Ravens, they're going to be in it. They could be playing spoilers between these 2 teams. So it's not any question right now. It's a 3-team race in that division, but I think the Steelers will take it. It's a tough pick in this one, but I think the Steelers win that division. AFC South, the division is wide open. This is a division that must be taken with caution here. Now, the Texans barely won the division because the Colts had injuries. Luck didn't play all that well. He was hurt. And the rest of that division was just horrific. Tennessee didn't do well with Mariota, and Winston for the Excuse me, no. That's the Tampa Bay. That's a different conference. Jacksonville didn't do all that well. Even though Bortles and the Jaguars could be on the rise this year, they could play big spoilers in that division. But it's really a two-team race in all honesty. The Colts and Texans are my two picks to probably fight for that division. And even though Texans are dealing with quarterback strings, and Brock Osweiler, he's going to have to really prove himself. And really, right now, the Colts and the Texans, both teams, they're about the same in terms of how they play. And the way I'm seeing the way it comes out right now, I'm going to go with the Texans to win the AFC South, only because they do, even though their running game is suffering but really the Colts are not that any better either. So this is why I'm going to say the Texans win. It's going to be another close finish in that AFC South division. It could be pretty dismal like it was last year, but I'll go with the Texans to win. But expect the Colts definitely to be in it for the long run in this season. And now the AFC West. Two-team race here, no question about it. It's the Chiefs and the Raiders that are going to be fighting for this division, but don't count out the Broncos though. Broncos signing Austin Davis to back up Trevor Seaman. Now, I know a lot of you wonder how Trevor Seaman might do. Getting Austin Davis is probably more in lines as insurance, because I don't know how Seaman is gonna play at quarterback if he struggles during the regular season. Now, obviously, Denver's quarterbacks, they have a Denver quarterback issue right now. That's the reason why they got Davis to try to stay in contention. They do have the defense though. That's what's going to keep them in contention in that division. But I still think the Raiders or the Chiefs are probably going to be the ones to end up winning that division. Now, the Chiefs right now, I don't know how Jamal Charles is going to be after coming back from season-ending injury from last season. He might not be ready to start in week 1. So that could be concerning if you're a Chiefs fan. The Raiders right now, look, everybody who knows me on a personal level knows I dislike the Raiders. And I do acknowledge the fact that they are on the rise. Yes, they are. I am afraid to admit it. And many of you know that, especially that I am a fan of the Chargers. They're going to be in last place this year. There's no question about it. Plus, the relocation talks are just going to be too much of a distraction for the team. They just are not that good. But going back to the two contending teams in the AFC West, I like the Chiefs in this division. I just think, well, look, like the Chargers, the Raiders also have relocation implications as well, which could be a huge distraction for that whole franchise. But they are on the rise, though. But this season, with that distraction and all that, I mean, there's still possible they could end up being a wild card team. But I just think, though, that this is the Chiefs' division to lose. I think the Chiefs win this division, but pretty much you can see the Raiders being in it. The Broncos might be in it, unless if they have quarterback controversy or they can't find a quarterback. Because now that Peyton Manning's retired, now Denver's they're going to have to really rely on their defense to really give them the ball. So no question, I like the Chiefs in the AFC West. Now, as far as wild cards go, these are the teams that I said that possibly could end up being the wild cards. They are the Raiders, the Ravens, the Steelers, Bengals, Jets, and the Broncos. Those are my teams that may end up getting wild cards. So that wraps up the AFC. Now let's go on to the NFC. NFC is going to be a little bit more tougher to pick here because this is pretty strong. This is a strong conference this year. But let's begin with the NFC East. Wide open in this division here. Redskins won, even though they lost to the Packers in the wild card. But all four teams, Redskins, Cowboys, Giants, and the Eagles are all in it in that division. This division is so wide open. Anybody could win that division. But who do I'm going to pick here? I'm going to pick the Redskins to win again. I think their team is a bit more complete than all the other teams. But don't count out the Eagles now. Hopefully, with their new coach, hopefully they can get their offense intact now. They traded Bradford to the Vikings, so that opens up confident with their first-round draft pick, to possibly start for the Eagles. But that, to me, is just a bigger question and concern right now. But that's one of the reasons why I don't really think the Eagles will contend that much this year, unless if they can get the team rallied around their quarterback. But don't count out the New York Giants here. I know they had a down year. Odell Beckham Jr., I expect him to have a much better year than he did last year. Victor Cruz should be back. and he's going to have to really be effective for that New York Giants offense. But really, their defense is going to be a question mark here. They didn't do all that well. I mean, they didn't do all that well in the draft, which they really needed defense, in all honesty. And as far as the Cowboys are concerned, right now, they got Sanchez from the Broncos to back up Dak Prescott, in which, because we all know Tony Romo is out for the first 6 weeks of the season. And in all honesty, I think Tony Romo's career is over. So it's tough to say whether he'll do. I mean, he did very well in the preseason, but now comes the real test come regular season. So yeah, but I think the Redskins are more complete there. Kirk Cousins is I expect them to have another great year, and their offense should be going. But like I said, the division's pretty weak. It's going to be wide open in that division. I like the Redskins in the NFC East. NFC North, very brief here. No question, the Green Bay Packers are going to win this division. A huge blow for the Vikings. You lose Terry Bridgewater, and they had to go get Sam Bradford now to possibly quarterback for the Vikings. And that's going to be a huge challenge for the Vikings offense now. You lose Bridgewater for the season. It's really, really going to be tough to really get that offense going as the way Bridgewater did in the preseason. As far as like the Bears and the Lions are concerned, they did not do well in the draft. The Bears right now, Jay Cutler, when is he going to be good for that offense? I just don't see the Bears doing anything. They just are a team that's just in disarray. I don't know how much more that John Fox can take of the Bears' futility lately. As far as the Lions go, Matthew Stafford is all by himself. He's the only guy that's gonna have to really rally and take this team to who knows where. He's got no Calvin Johnson. He is retired. And who do they got? They don't have offense or defense. Expect the Lions to be in last place this year. And bad. It's going to be pretty bad. But no question, Packers easily going to win this division. No one, Minnesota can try to compete with them, but I just think without Teddy Bridgewater, it's going to be tough to overtake the Packers. As long as the Packers stay healthy, I guarantee they will easily run away with the NFC North division. NFC South. It's a two-team race in this division here. It's going to be between the Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. I can pretty much see it going that way between these two teams. But the Panthers have the offense, and their team, even though they did lose some key players, their defense is still there. Cam Newton should have another good year, but the thing is, the team's got to stay healthy. That's got to be the key. They had some injuries that hurt them going into the postseason, even though they did make the Super Bowl, but Denver exposed them. Their defense exposed their offense, and that's one of the reasons why Carolina did not win the Super Bowl last year. But they will win the NFC South division. That's kind of a give me, but don't count out the New Orleans Saints. Knowing Drew Brees, Sean Payton is still there. He knows how to get that offense going, but obviously, no, their defense needs to get a little bit better if they want to compete with the Carolina Panthers. But I just think the Panthers are too much in this division, but you just can't count out the Saints there. It could be a dogfight, but I think the Panthers will probably win the division by 2 or 3 games. No question, Panthers in the NFC South. And now the NFC West. No question, it's a two-team race. Definitely the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Cardinals really were the surprise last year. They were healthy until Mateo on their defense went out with a season-ending injury. It's going to be a real question to see if he's going to be healthy and really help that Cardinals defense. But if Carson Palmer and that offense can stay together and stay intact, no, their offense is pretty good. They were in the top 15 last year. And if they stick together, I could see the Cardinals winning this division, and I'm going to pick them. But don't count out Seattle. I know they've taken a step back last year, and they did, and I know their running back is coming off of season-ending injury, and like I said, without Marshawn Lynch anymore, I mean, their running game may take a little bit of a hit. But they still have the defense, which will keep them in contention. Russell Wilson's still very good. It's really a two-team race between the Cardinals and the Seahawks in the NFC West division. The 49ers, they got the controversy with Colin Kaepernick, which I will not get into. The Rams, they're just relocating back to Los Angeles, and really right now, they're struggling to find a quarterback right now who's going to lead that team, whether it's Goff or Keenan, which Keenan is going to get the starting job for the LA Rams, but who knows what that team is going to do. But no question, I like the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC West. They will definitely take this division. All right, everybody, that wraps it up. It's 15 minutes now. I don't want to drag on too much. Check back again, coming soon for my 4 key game picks for week number 1. And until then, I will see you then, and enjoy. And I can't wait to post up as we will post up the rest of the videos for NFL picks all the way up to Super Bowl 51. Take care, everybody, and I will see you when I talk about my picks for week number 1.